The Danish Lake District. That's the airport you'll find most convenient if you want to come here and fish too. He arrived complete with Sherpa, bivouac and fishing rods, and he established base camp just over there. Now the price of carp is eternal vigilance. Jim Davidson, not dead, only sleeping. How's Jim?
I was wide awake then. I was just resting my eyes.
Absolutely, I believe it, I believe it. Well, just rest easy for a wee second, because I'm curious about all of this. That's a few bobs worth.
Yeah. All we need now is some fish with it, and we're laughing, really.
That buzzer that I just sounded...
I was resting, honestly. I was resting.
Sure. There are those. I was looking for 2 pennies for your eyes there for a minute.
That's right, yeah.
That buzzer that sounded, what's all that about?
Well, basically, people think it's for lazy fishermen. Could be half right here, really. It's just a little buzzer on the... You rest your rod in it, it serves as a rod rest. And when your line pulls through it, a little fan goes across a light which sort of breaks the circuit, and it sounds a bleeper off, and also a little light at the front there, which is only for night fishing. And it gives you a chance to, when you put your bait out, to actually keep looking at the lake.
Yes. What do you call this system?
It's just a normal carp setup, actually. It's quite good. Here, do you want one of these?
Yeah,
We use it all the time, actually. It's best for,
These are nice. What are they?
It's the bait. You're lucky you never had a hook in it, mate.
Are these boilies?
Yeah. This is your ready-made boilies you can go and buy in any shop. Great for...
Tell me very slowly and gently what's in them.
I don't actually know what's in these, because these are made by well-known suppliers. Balcombe, the Clyde. And it's basically a high-protein bait. You give the fish a high-protein and fibre diet.
It tastes like a gobstopper.
Yeah, they're slightly sweet, because carp have got sweet tooth. This is actually Salmon Supreme, which is, I think, the best of the ready-made baits. And,
how do you get that onto the hook?
We don't put it on the hook, mate.
Oh, what's the purpose of it then? What's the point?
Well, you use it as bait, but I've got one here ready made up, as they say at Blue Peter. Here we are, there's one already made up, which I had before. Now, that's actually an anti-ejection hair rig.
Now, as I see it, there's a hook above that.
Yeah.
A tie by, what, 10-pound Dacron?
Yeah.
And how do you stop it from pulling off?
Well, you make a little loop and you pull it through with a little gizmo thing, a little needle.
Yeah?
Just stick a little something under there, a bit of spaghetti, some people put a bit of line, some people put a little rubber band. I use a rubber band myself because I cast for miles, you know.
Oh, yes.
About 40 foot.
How many of these would you ground bait with?
It depends, really. I mean, a lake like this, I've never seen them before, so we've put quite a few in, and hopefully we'll get the fish to like them straight away, and they'll go on the look for them. The idea of this, you see, because they're quite hard, that the fish will come along and try and lip them, take it back into its teeth, drawing the hook back in its mouth, feel the hook prick them, and then bolt, you see, so you get quite a steady old run, you know, quite a bite.
Now, you put your carp back alive.
Sure, yeah, put all fish back alive.
And they're not in any way damaged by this rig?
No, we use barbless hooks, or very semi-barbless hooks. If I thought I'd damage a fish, I wouldn't do it. You can't, it's the same as a hook, just a hook in the mouth. You hook them in the mouth, you know. It's a good way of catching carp. You try it without. I mean, back in England now, you use this without the hair rig. Just put the hook in the bait. The chances are you won't catch a carp because they're clever. Ah, no, they're clever now.
Listen, tell me this, between yourself and your faithful Sherpa there, you've got 6 rods up.
Yeah.
There are those who would say that is not sporting.
Well, it's skint ones, you mean? Ones have only got 2.
Well, there's been a bit of controversy. I mean, I read the angling press as well as anybody else. And there's, you know, some correspondents have been saying that 2 rods are quite enough.
Why? Why isn't 1 enough, then?
Well, they reckon that if you're doing that, you might as well start lobbing hand grenades in.
That's a thought. I never thought of that. Yeah, we've got the hand grenades here. Well, put it this way, we've been fishing here for like 3 hours, and we've got 3 rods up, but nothing's happened. I can't see why it isn't sporting. I mean, there's lots of fish, and it's a big water. I mean, I wouldn't use 3 rods on a lake, which is a small lake, which is overfished with a lot of anglers. It wouldn't be fair on the other anglers. It's fair to the fish, it's just people are thinking about getting in the way of other anglers.
On a lake like this, it doesn't make any difference.
No, not really.
Do you find that, I mean, after the kind of business that you do, concert tours, TV shows and so on, that you need this kind of release?
What, you mean sitting here staring at rods that nothing's happening with? Yeah, although, to be fair, specimen fishing is not quite as much of a release as pleasure angling. You've got to be dedicated a bit, spend a lot of time to it. And there's lots of hours of sitting around bored, worrying.
Explain to me a wee bit about the passion of carp fishing. What's the excitement in carp? Is it the size?
Yeah, I think so. It's a big fish, and also they're very difficult to catch. They're very difficult, they're very clever. And also, it is the big fish. It is a big fish to catch.
So how long are we going to stay here?
We're going to stay here till tomorrow morning, and then we'll have a look round first light and see if there's any fish moving. We'll go scouting around, climb up some trees, see if we can see any in the shallows. If we find some fish somewhere else, we'll go to the fish. We can't expect them to come to us. You've got the old Salmon Supreme here.
A lot of people just looking around at these rigs will wonder, how much money does it cost? How much would I have to pay to get up to this level of tackle?
Well, these are quite specialised rods, actually. A fella called Bruce Ashby built them for me. I've got these rods for fishing in for long range, so I can fish up to 135 yards, and I really can't cast at all, mate. I'm terrible at it. But, so they're quite expensive, although they're very good. I would think, I've got about £1,000 of the gear on show here, I would imagine. But actually, to get carp fishing, get started, you need a good couple of rods. I would say 2 rather than 1 because of the boredom of the sport. And I know you get a rod of maybe £50 each, a good reel. You know, I would say get a well-known reel.
£100?
Yeah, a couple of £100 and you're away, you know. A couple of buzzers. And I really think if there's, for the kids that want to get into carp fishing, first of all, it's boring. You've got to remember that. And I really think learn your trade first and fish with other fish and, you know how to contain a shoulder bream or a shoulder roach in your swim. Learn about fishing. It'll make carp fishing a lot easier for you. Have a read about carp fishing and get excited about it and do it great.
A lot of people don't...
It's good fun, though. It's good laugh and all. You can do loads of things because you can go over there and have a mess around, play cards, and run back when you get your buzzers going.
I know you're from Bermondsey, Jim, and I have to say it doesn't immediately ring a bell as the home of specimen angling.
No, not really, no. I used to go down in Kent fishing in a place called Alton Kirby when I was a kid. And when I was 16, I had quite a few carp, and I had a 21.5 pounder, which sort of really, when you're a kid, that's a hell of a fish. It was as big as me, you know, and I got hooked.
Did you try any other kind of fishing? Did you...
Oh, yeah, I started when I was 3.
Angling?
I started when I was 3 years old, you know. It's great. You're down in Dartford with your dad falling in the lake, and the first fish I caught was a little jack pike about so big. And put it back in. They're great, aren't they? Great. Just talking about them. Where are you? Can't speak English, the fish. I'm speaking to him wrong. Where are you, carpies? Come on. Aha. That felt like a rope again. Come on. Well, not quite a 44-pound carp, but we're plodding on, getting there. It's a nice roach, about 17 pound. Give or take a few bob. Jim Davidson, Hooked, International, BBC.
Well, Jim Davidson suffering the fate of many's the specimen hunter and having virtually a blank day, well, at least on the specimen that he came to catch. But he has put up a prize of £100 to any of our anglers who throughout the series of matches catches a good carp. The best carp, £100. And if that prize is not claimed, it'll go to the ACA. That's the angling body that fights pollution. Yes. Coming up to the halfway mark now, Pete.
Yes, and an interesting match in as much as Bill Lawler looks as though he could make it 4 of the Irish anglers into the final. But But having said that, Bill's been catching steadily throughout, right from the start. It's really a case of Richard Bawley and Tommy Pickering chasing him now for that final place. Richard Bawley, I think, has got the better chance, simply because his fish are now starting to come in a little bit faster than Tom Pickering. For the Danes, well, there's no doubt that Kai Pedersen up on the